Today lesson is Unit 3 from History. The lesson name is Early Tamil Society and Culture. Introduction. The Tamil civilization begins at least 3 centuries before the Common Era. As seafaring people, Tamil traders and sailors established commercial and cultural links across the seas, and merchants from foreign territories also visited the Tamil region. The resulting cultural and mercantile activities and internal developments led to urbanization in this region. Towns and ports emerged. Coins and currency came into circulation. Written documents were produced. The Tamil Brahmi script was adapted to write the Tamil language. Classical Tamil poems were composed. Now, let me learn sources for the study of early Tamil society. The sources for reconstructing the history of the ancient Tamils are classical Tamil literature, epigraphy, that is inscriptions, archaeological excavations and material culture, non-Tamil and foreign literature. Let me go through under each heading. The classical Sangam Tamil literature. The classical Sangam corpus, that is corpus means collections, consists of the Tolkappiyam, the Padinan Mel Kanakku, that is 18 major works, and the Padinan Kil Kanakku, that is 18 minor works, and the 5 epics. Tolkappiyam. Tolkappiyam attributed to Tolkappiyar. It is one of the oldest Tamil literary work. Information on grammar, classification of habitats, animals, plants and human beings. It also describes poetic conventions that provide information on Tamil social life. Tolkappiyam consists of, already said, Padinan Mel Kanakku, that is 18 major works, then Padinan Kil Kanakku, that is 18 minor works. Isn't it? You see here, classical Tamil literature Tolkappiyam consists of this one, Padinan Mel Kanakku and Padinan Kil Kanakku. Under Padinan Mel Kanakku, that is Pattupattu, Ettu Thogai, then Padinan Kil Kanakku, 18 minor works, ethics and morals, and Tirukkural. Pattupattu. Okay. What is the in Pattupattu? Under the Pattupattu, Tirumurugatrupadai, Porunaraatrupadai, Perumbaanaatrupadai, Sirubaanaatrupadai, Mullaipattu, Nedunalvadai, Madurai Kanchi, Kurinjipattu, Pattinappalai, Malai Padugadam. I hope you are all learnt about these in Tamil subject. Okay. Ettu Thogai. Ettu Thogai or the 8 anthologies or Natrinai, Kurundogai, Paripadal, Paditruppattu, Aingurunooru, Kalittogai, Akananooru, Purananooru. Okay, these are in Ettu Thogai. Okay, Tirukkural, you know about that. Tirukkural composed by Thiruvalluvar, isn't it? Out of the 18 great poems of Sangam literature, Tirukkural is considered as one of the most important poems. It contains proverbs on many aspects of life and religion. It preaches simplicity and truth. This is the Padinan Kil Kanakku, comprises 18 texts elaborating on ethics and morals. The preeminent work among these is the Tirukkural, Already I said this one is composed by Thiruvalluvar in 1330 couplets. Thirukkural considers questions of morality, statecraft and love. The five epics, the epics or kapiams or a long narrative poem of very high quality. They are Silapadikaram. You know about that, this story. Kannagi, Kovalan, Madhavi. Then Manimekalai, Sivaka Sintamani, Valayapati and Kundalagesi. Okay, epigraphy. Epigraphy is the study of inscriptions. Inscriptions are documents scripted on stone, copper plates and other media such as coins, rings, etc. The development of script marks the beginning of the historical period. Next one is Tamil Brahmi inscriptions. Tamil Brahmi inscriptions have been found in more than 30 sites in Tamil Nadu, mostly on cave surfaces and rock shelters. These caves were the abodes of monks, mostly Jaina monks. The sites have smooth stone beds carved on rock surface for monks who led a simple life and lived in these shelters. You can see in the picture if you have the book. Merchants and kings converted these natural formations as habitation for monks who had renounced worldly life. You will notice that among the old inscriptions, people, both local and tourists, have marked their names, thereby destroying some of the ancient inscriptions. Such acts of destructions of heritage property or property belonging to others are called vandalism. Then archaeological sources. First one is hero stones. Already you know about that. Hero stones are memorials erected for the heroes who died for their village, country or king. These stones were also a part of the burial. Many warriors died in such battles and were remembered as martyrs. Memorial stones were erected in their honor. Sangam literature vividly portrays these battles and clashes and describes such hero stones as objects of worship. Kapiam describes the procedures for erecting hero stones. Then archaeological sources. Next one is inscriptions. Pottery vessels from the early historic period have names of people engraved on them in Tamil Brahmi script. These are the oldest inscriptions in India. People etched their names on pottery to indicate ownership. Many caves of Sangam age had inscriptions on them. Archaeological sites. Archaeological excavation refers to systematically digging a site to recover material evidence. Found evidence of a planned town, warehouse, streets, tanks and ring wells. Excavations at Arikamedu, Arangulam, Urayur, Kanchipuram, Kaveri Pumbattinam, Korkai, etc. Okay. Then Archaeological Survey of India, ASI is a central government agency that manages archaeological sites and monuments in India. The government of Tamil Nadu has its own department for archaeology called the Tamil Nadu State Department of Archaeology. Then material cultures and coins. Culture. First one we will see about the culture. Archaeologists have found evidence of brick structures and industrial activities as well as artifacts such as beads, bangles, camos, and other materials in these sites. Tamil Brahmi inscriptions on pottery and coins have also been unearthed. Coins, coins as a medium of exchange were introduced for the first time in the Sangam age. The coins of Cheras, the Cholas, and the Pandyas, punch-marked coins, and Roman coins form another important source of evidence from the Sangam age. The non-Tamil sources, that is foreign accounts. The presence of the non-Tamil sources reveals the extensive contexts and interactions of the early Tamil society. Arthashastra, the classic work on economy and statecraft, it may mean the pearl and cells from the Pondian country. Mahavamsa, the Sri Lankan Buddhist chronicle composed in the Pali language, mentions merchants and horse traders from Tamil Nadu and South India. What is chronicle? Chronicle is a narrative text presenting the important historical events in chronological order. Then we will see about Periplus of Erythraean Sea. The term Periplus means a navigational guide used by sailors. Periplus refers to the waters around the Red Sea. Pliny's natural history. Pliny the Elder was a Roman who wrote natural history written in Latin. It is a text on the natural wealth of the Roman Empire. Ptolemy's geography. Ptolemy's geography is a gazetteer and atlas of Roman times providing geographical details of the Roman Empire. Then Vienna Papyrus. Vienna Papyrus, a Greek document. It contains a written agreement between traders. What's papyrus? Papyrus means paper produced out of the papyrus plant and extensively for writing purposes in ancient Egypt. The Sangam age, the Tinai. The concept of Tinai is presented in the Tamil grammar work of Tolkapiyam, and this concept is essential to understand the classical Tamil poems. The themes of the poems are broadly defined as Agam and Puram. Already I said no, Agathinai and Purathinai. So Agam, that is interior. Puram means exterior. Agathinai refers to various situations of love and family life, while Purathinai is concerned with all other aspects of life and deals particularly with war and heroism. The 5 landscapes are Kurunji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal, and Palai. Kurunji refers to the hilly and mountainous region. Mullai is a forested and pastoral region. Marudam is the fertile riverine valley. Neidal is coastal region. Palai is sandy desert region. I hope you already know about this one also. These 5 landscapes. Okay, next one. Sangam age political powers of Tamilagam. So first one is Movendar. The Cheras, the Cholas and the Pandyas occupied preeminent positions. They were known as Movendar, that is the 3 kings. First one we will see about Cheras. Cheras emblem is, what's the emblem of Cheras? Bow and arrow. Then Chola's emblem, tiger. The Pandya's emblem, fish. Okay, first we will see about one by one. First one is Cheras. Cheras capital, Vanji or Mushri. Here gave Wrong. So Vanchi or Mushri, you can see in your book, in your map. Then emblem is already I said bow and arrow, famous port Musri and Tondi. Okay. Vanchi was the capital of the Cheras, while Musri and Tondi were their port towns. The Cheras wore garlands made from the flowers of the palm tree. The Silapadigaram speaks about Cheran Chengutuvan, who built a temple for Kannagi. The bow and arrow was the symbol of the Cheras. Legend has it that Ilango, who composed the Silapadigaram, was the brother of Cheran Chengutuvan. The next kingdom is Chola, capital Urayur, emblem tiger, famous fort Puhar Kaveri Pumbuttanam or Pumbugar. Puhar or Kaveri Pumbuttanam or Pumbugar. Their capital, already I said their capital was Urayur and their port town was Kaveri Pumbuttanam or Pumbugar. Silapadigaran describes the trading activities at Kaveri Pumbuttanam. Karikalan is notable among the Chola king and is credited with bringing forest lands under the plough and developing irrigation facilities by effectively utilizing the water from the river Kaveri. Kallanai. Okay, already I said Chola emblem was tiger. Then next kingdom is the lost kingdom, the Pandyas. Capital Madurai, emblem fish, then famous port Korkai and Salur. Okay, already I said same only give here. Madurai was the Pandya's capital. The Mangulam Tamil Brahmi inscription mentions the king Nedunjuriyan. The Pandyan symbol was the fish. Okay, let me go through the kingdom of Movendar. You look at the map, you can see South India, Sangam period, Cheras and Cholas Pandyas. Cheras capital Vanchi or Musri. Then Cholas Kaveri Pumbuttanam, Pandyas Madurai. Okay, Velis or chieftains. There were Velis and numerous chieftains who occupied territories on the margins of the Movendar. The Velis were the 7 chiefs: Pari, Kari, Ori, Nalli, Began, Ayan, Adiyaman. Already you know about them. Sangam poems write extensively about the generosity of these Velis. These chiefs had intimate relations with the poets of their time and were known for their large-heartedness. These chieftains had alliance with one or other of the Movendar and helped them in their battles against the other Vendas. Okay, next one, society in Sangam age. There were several clan-based communities including groups such as Panar, Paradavar, Eyinar, Ulavar, Kanavar, Vetuvar and Maravar. That is people having different types of communities. The development of agriculture and pastoral ways of life might have harmed the ecosystem and the naturally available forest and wild animals. It is possible that some of the hunter-gatherers might have been pushed to the forest areas and a few might have taken up of the occupation of manual laborers. The development of agriculture in the wetland region depended on the use of certain groups of people as laborers. Okay, next one we will see about women in Sangam age. Women are frequently referred to in Tamil text as mothers, heroines and foster mothers. Friendly women from Panar families, dancers, poets and royal women were all portrayed in Sangam literature. Women protecting Thinai fields from birds and Umanarkula woman selling salt, showing that women are involved in primary production. And also women preferred to die along with their husbands also occur in the literature of the times. Let's see economy. Agricultural production. First we will see about agricultural production. Agriculture was the one of the main source of substance. Crops like paddy, sugarcane, millets were cultivated. Both wet and dry land farming were practiced. Craft production and craft specialization were important aspects of urbanization. Then pottery was practiced in many settlements. People used pottery in their daily activities, and so they were made in large numbers. Black and red were potteries were the different types of pottery used. Iron smelting, iron manufacturing was an important artisanal activity. Iron smelting was undertaken in traditional furnaces. Then stone ornament. Sangam age people adorned themselves with a variety of ornaments, while the poor wore ornaments made of clay, terracotta, iron, and leaves and flowers. The rich wore jewelry made of precious stones, copper and gold. Gold jewelry. Gold ornaments were well known in this period. Gold coins from Roman was used to make jewelry. Then glass beads. The presence of glass beads at the sites reveals that people of the Sangam age knew how to make glass beads. Glass material, that is silica, was melted in a furnace and drawn into long tubes, which were then cut into small beads. Glass beads came in various shapes and color. Pearl fishery and shell bangle. The Pamban coast is famous for pearl fishery. A pearl has been discovered in recently excavated Kirari site. Shell bangles were very common in the Sangam age. The Paradavas collected conch shells from the Pamban island, which were cut and crafted into bangles by artisans. Then textiles. Textile production was another important occupation. Evidence of spindle holes and pieces of cloth have been found. What is spindle holes? This is were used for making thread from cotton. Okay, now we will see about exchange, trade, merchants and trade routes. Resources and commodities were not available in all regions. For example, the hill region did not have fish or salt, and the coastal regions could not produce paddy. Therefore, trade and exchange was important for people to have access to different commodities. This system was known as barter system. The terms Vanikan and Nigama guild appear in Tamil Brahmi inscriptions. There were different types of merchants: gold merchants, cloth merchants, and salt merchants. Transport. Bullock carts and animals were used to transport goods by land. Various types of watercrafts and sea-going vessels are also mentioned in Tamil literature. Then barter was the primary mode of exchange. For instance, rice was exchanged for fish. Tamilagam and overseas. Interactions. Tamil country had connections with countries overseas, both in the east and west. Roman ships used monsoon winds to cross the Western Sea or the Arabian Sea to connect Tamilagam with the Western world. Spices including pepper, ivory, and precious stones were exported. Metal including gold, silver, and copper and precious stones were imported. a stone with the name Perumpatankal has been found at Guhanlukpat, Thailand. Southeast Asia was known as Swarnabhumi in Tamil literature. This stone was used by a person called Perumpattan, probably a goldsmith. It was a touchstone used to test the purity of gold. Next one we will see about the emergence of towns and ports. The Sangam age saw the first urbanization in Tamilagam. Cities developed and they had brick buildings, roof tiles, ring wells, and planned towns, streets, and storehouses. The towns worked as ports and artisanal centers. Bronze vessels, beads, shell bangles, glass beads, pottery with the names of people written in Tamil Brahmi script were found. Faith and belief system. Like the diverse nature of the society and economy, the belief system of the Sangam age was also diverse. It consisted of animism. That is, animism is nothing but a living soul to plants. Ancestor worship, hero worship, and worship of several deities. Tolkappiyam lists the presiding deities of Kurunji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal, and Palai landscapes as Murugan, Thirumal, Indran, Varunan, and Kotravai. People also worship natural forces and dead heroes and ancestors. Jainism was present as evidenced by the caves with Tamil Brahmi inscriptions. Buddhism was also present in certain centers. Different groups practiced various forms of worship. The last one is culture of arts. Various art forms too existed in the Sangam age. Performances of ritual dances called Veriyatal or referred to in the literature. Composition of poems, playing of music instruments, and dances were also known. People took care of their appearance, and evidence of antimony rods, that is called sticks, made of copper has been found in archaeological sites. They were used by women for decorating their eyebrows. Okay, thank you, ma. Take care.